Hey everyone, John Henry here, slingshotfutures.com, and welcome to the Market Mindset, where we take a look at the psychology behind the moves today so you can better understand tomorrow. Today we're taking a look at the Nasdaq futures, and overall pretty obvious what the market had in mind here, relatively bearish. Now, a couple things really come into play here. First of all, if we look back, the early morning session is kind of the anticipation. We have a huge rally up. You tend to see a little bit more range-bound movement after a big move like that. We start coming in, and we come in at 8 o'clock in the live trade room, and we see that for the most part, this is still kind of a bear trend, working its way lower. We have a bear tendency, right? The buyers just don't look like they're ready to come in yet. We have a slow little bounce up, and then the sellers start coming back in again. Now, the anticipation is that the buyers still have the emphasis, and we're cycling off of a big low side area. So we don't want to be selling too early going with a short-term trend, because the long-term trend could easily prevail and come right back in towards the high. So you have to play it a little bit safe here until we get a little more info. It looked like the buyers wanted to come back in. It looked halfway decent, but when we start pushing up towards that area of resistance, the market starts faltering a little bit. And what do we see here? Well, we see the buyers with a strong push, and then when it comes time to follow through, they fall flat on their face, right? Pulls back to the moving average, nice little attempted bounce, doji. Bear candle. Bulls try to come in, can't even trigger them, turns right back down again. The buyers are losing grip. Now, we do have the previous high of day and some other levels of support in the way, but once we cracked through with a huge burst in volatility and volume and just emphasis to the downside, that is a sell signal that the buyers are likely failing, and they're not going to come in until they get some better prices. And that could be at a new low. It could be much further down. We don't know at that point in time, but the anticipation is that the sellers are going to come in and try to drive the market back down again. Now, this is where things start getting really interesting, because pretty obviously this broke down a little more than I think a lot of buyers were anticipating, and a lot of buyers are probably stuck in this move. They were probably hoping for a wedge low, maybe buying inside here, probably buying inside here, and now they're thinking, oh crap, right? Now I'm stuck. I need to get out of this. This isn't good. This is a trend change. So when we start seeing the market pop back up again, it's giving us a clue that there is a very likely probable chance that the market participants that have been stuck long are trying to get out. If they got stuck in long here, they got in stuck, right there. If they've been buying in the overnight session, maybe back here and here, it comes up and it can't even reclaim that previous swing low before turning right back down again on a huge bear bar, closing near its lows. Buyers, once again, completely failing. Buyers come in, bad follow through. Buyers come in, good follow through, immediately fails right back down again. That's a twin reversal, right? We talk about this type of pattern very frequently when we come into a previous area of interest and it immediately fails right back down. They closed above it, immediately they closed right back down. It was a complete failure off of that high. That is a big clue that the buyers have given up, and if it triggers below this bear candle, expect some follow through. And that is exactly what happened. Huge burst to the downside, just a monster drop. Now, with this continuation, this is shutting down everything that happened yesterday afternoon. The buyers are going to try to come in at the lows, maybe in hopes that they can get a bounce to get it back going higher again. But for the most part, the buyers have given up. They gave up back here, maybe even back here. There's no reason to believe the buyers anymore. So now we have switched from moderately aggressive short to full aggressive short. Any bounce that we get, any little pullback, anything that we get that gives us a reason to sell is going to be good enough. In the next most recent area is that huge spike higher that happened. That location is going to be a key area. So when we get a little bit of a bounce, we hit that place in pretty much to the tick. I mean, it goes through it by just a little bit. And then the follow through is horrendous. That is your selling opportunity to jump on in and try to push the market back down. And everybody jumped on board this one. This was a very obvious breakdown. And an aggressive seller had a heyday on this one. Just a slam to the downside. So a very bearish market. And that goes to show you how you don't necessarily always start out heavy bear, right? You don't go that way. You kind of work your way up until you realize, wait a minute, the buyers are giving up. There's no reason to believe any bull bounce anymore. We're going to go into sell everything mode. And that's where things really start getting fun and interesting. So very interesting day today on the Nasdaq on a complete breakdown of yesterday's rally higher. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you found it interesting. And of course, as always, have a good one, and we will see you all next time.